So, when it came to me and when I got there, that was the first year I was at Stony Brook, and knowing where I was the year prior, having an ACL torn and rehabbing it, and really, getting my academics right to get into the school, and then walk on there, and then having to go through this and not even be eligible for games. When I look at all the rings that I've earned and a lot of the things that I've been a part of during college, this one hits home. This one hits home because wasn't really known. It was hard to establish a group of friends when you're coming in and this is your second year of college. You don't have a group of, incoming freshmen that are being put through a process. You're not on scholarship or anything like that. It was one of those things where, and a lot of my teammates, the people that knew me back then, can validate this. But that night, man, let me tell you, that night, grabbed a bottle of Bacardi and I started just giving out motivational speeches to everyone. I was giving out motivational speeches. I drank way too much, but you know what happens when you drink, and a drunk mind speaks to sober heart. And to know that I was there thumping with these guys and playing, and we actually were able to earn a ring and earn and win that Big South. That one was really special. That was, to me, at that point, I really didn't have much more left in it. I didn't know it at the time, but I didn't have much more left in the tank as a player. It was such a rewarding day because let me just give you an idea of what happened. That day, Good Counsel actually won the CAC championship for the first time in years. We would lose to the Mather for years. So we won earlier. I think it was like, no. So Stony Brook wins the Big South. And then I go on my phone, I check some social media stuff. And I realized that my high school, Good Counsel, goes and wins the first time the WCAC championship. We beat the Mather. There was so much going on. And, I had too much Bacardi in me, and I'm around football teammates. I'm around my guys. And you got to think too, I had come from a Division II program. So I know how much all of this can change in the matter of 1 year. So I was moved. And that was my third year of college. That's on defense. And I remember I was actually telling Anthony this yesterday. He was a co-worker of mine. He's a teammate of mine at Carson Newman. So you look at the difference. The biggest difference. This one, let me show you again. Linebacker, which is on defense. This final one, you see what it says? Let me see. Fullback, which is on offense. That year, from my junior year to my senior year in college, it was like me getting a master's in football. It really was. They moved me from defense to offense. All right, they moved me from defense to offense, and I was learning things that I had. I mean, again, as someone who thought he knew a lot about football, I knew absolutely nothing. So that year, when it comes to this last ring that I got, that year was all about me figuring out how to transition into something other than playing. Because at this point, I was being incredibly, again, I'm a senior in college. I'm getting ready to graduate, and there was a young fullback coming up. He was in our tight ends room. His name was Tanner Nails, who's from Houston. And not only Tanner was a great tight end, but Tanner could also be the guy that could jump out at fullback. Then he could also be the wing back. There was so much flexibility when it came to Tanner and what he was about. Now, luckily, they were able to redshirt him my senior year, his freshman year. But I knew by the time his time came, it was going to be basically the five guys that they wanted to basically play was going to be Matt Fiala, Chris Fenelon, Brett RC, Dave Shookery, and I was the fifth guy. And I knew in my heart, because again, I'm smart enough to realize, okay, Tanner is going to be the guy that comes in because he's younger and he could do more than me. He would be the better option. And that's just me being a man with some intelligence, a man with some common sense. Realize, hey, you got to go with the younger guy. I mean, every single one of these players. I mean, Coach P used to say it all the time when I was at Stony Brook. Is he used to say, there's a lot of success stories in this room. There's a lot of success stories in this room that you would never, ever know about.